does your ball toss sometimes look like this?
If you want more consistency on your ball toss, this is the video for you.
So this may seem contradictory, but the first point to note on the ball toss is to not get too fixated on it.
Yeah, we see players all the time end up crippled, essentially, by this ball toss.
Yips.
Yeah, the rabbit hole going down, like trying to achieve the perfect ball toss is just not necessary.
But if you are struggling with your ball toss, we're going to take you through 4 key tips and 1 test so you can make sure your ball toss is as consistent as you want it, so you can do everything that you want with your serve.
Yes, we are going to be looking at the grip, how you hold the ball. We're looking at your ball toss arm, which parts of it should and shouldn't be moving, when you release the ball, and how you're releasing the ball.
So stay tuned, and we're going to help you build massive consistency on your ball toss, leading to bigger, faster, more consistent serves.
Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, so tip number 1, really basic. You would have seen this hundreds of times before, but it is simple and basic for a reason. It is really important. You must keep your your ball toss arm completely straight throughout the motion. Exactly. We are trying to reduce the variation. We're trying to reduce the different moving parts in the serve. We're trying to get rid of noise from the machine. So the easiest way to do that is to simplify everything. We don't want our wrist to be wobbling around. We don't want our elbow to be flexing. So only your shoulder joint should be doing any movement at all.
Exactly right. And this is what you'll see across the tour almost 100% of the time. So many pro serves have their own little nuances, their own little movements. They're all slightly different, but there are certain aspects that are very consistent. The simplest, most straightforward way to build consistency: keep the left arm straight, up it goes.
Simple as that.
Our second tip is about how you clasp that ball, or don't clasp it, more importantly. We want to make sure that we are nice and steady with the ball, but gripping onto it too tight, clutching it with a mad claw is going to lead to some inconsistencies, because it's unlikely to get a consistent release as you take that ball up.
Yes, and likewise too loose as well. You will see the occasional player who will just sort of balance the ball on their hand. That is a very risky strategy. We are just looking for a grip on the ball that is comfortable and controllable, that you can maintain a nice clean release.
Yes, and so for me, this works. I go thumb and tips of fingers, which Ben thinks is very strange.
Yeah,
but it works for me beautifully well.
Yes, and I don't know how I hold the ball. And this is kind of what we were getting at earlier. It doesn't matter too much. If you are getting a consistent result, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Just stop thinking about it, end this video, go and play. This is for help if you're not, and the chances are it's going to be one of these things causing the problem. Use this as a diagnostic tool rather than a must do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what you might tend to find, if your ball toss is going back over your head too often, is that it may be that the ball is essentially getting caught in your fingers. So as that ball is going up, it's catching on the fingers as it moves forward, and that's flicking it back over your head. That might be, again, this is a diagnostic tool. If you find the ball toss going over your head a lot, maybe shift to a more sort of finger and thumb approach.
There you go.
Let's get inside our heads. So we're getting inside your head to help solve this problem. Stop thinking of it as a toss. It's called the ball toss, fine. Let it have its name, but don't think of it as a toss. Reframe it. It's not a throw, it's not a toss. You are just going to lift that ball into place. So we've talked about the left arm being straight. You've got your nice firm hold on the ball, not too hard, not too soft. And you're just going to lift that left arm and then release at the point at which you see fit. Not a throw, not a toss, a lift or a place.
Yes, I would say I consciously try and place the ball. I don't try and throw it in there. Throwing has connotations of speed and power. That's going to cause you to lose control. And a toss, I can only think of tossing the caber.
Yes.
Which, for those of you who don't know, you're going to cut that in now, haven't you?
Toss has a perceived weight to it.
Yeah.
A toss is almost like a heave. Oh, I'm going to toss this out. No, we're just going to lift it. We're just going to place it.
Yeah, and this is something that we are very hot on at PH Tennis, is the dictionary of terms that tennis uses to describe things is fine, but when you use them to learn things, you can start coming a cropper, you can say. Yeah. So we don't hit gently, we don't throw the ball up. We place it, keep that ball under control so your serve can remain cool and calm and consistent. Okay, finally, we have the release point. Now, this is going to be slightly different for everyone. Again, it is important you just have a consistent, reliable, repeatable release point. Most players are going to be hovering around sort of head height, eye height. So as your left arm, your ball toss arm comes up, you're going to release as the ball reaches eye level, and that should maintain a perfectly straight, consistent ball toss. Let go too early, it's going to go forwards, let go too late, and the ball's going to be going behind you.
Exactly. So if you're finding your ball toss going over your head, you've changed the way you hold it, ball's still going that way, it may be that you're just holding on to it for a little bit too long. So try releasing that ball a little sooner. Similarly, if the ball's getting away from you and you find yourself sort of falling into the court, you've sorted out your ball toss hand, your grip's good, maybe you're just releasing it a little too early, so as that hand comes up, ball's getting away from you and it goes out there. Try adjusting that, letting go of that ball a little later, find the perfect spot to get your ball into that strike zone.
Yeah, we're not worried too much about it being exactly in the right place. You have the ability to make little adjustments at the top of your serve. So I'm gonna say we're aiming for something sort of shoebox sized as a target. It's not a point, it's like a little box. So anywhere roughly up there is gonna be okay. Again, play around with it, find your limits, push the boundaries until you found your sort of like a range of possibilities, I'd say.
And I think that what is going to lead or potentially lead to giving you the yips and getting completely bogged down in the ball toss is if you're aiming for an exact point, an exact replica, the exact same thing over and over again. It's just not feasible. Aim for an area, like Ben says, shoebox size, strike the ball from there. So if these things are going well, we are looking for 2 points that will tell you that your ball toss is in a good place.
Yes, this is like a feedback loop that you can use when you're not playing, not competing. When you're competing, forget all this. This is like a little practice test almost that you can do to just make sure everything's working right. So, what is it, Joe?
So, the first thing is, when you toss that ball up, are you able to catch it again without moving and without moving that hand? Doesn't matter, you can't throw it up and then catch it over here or throw it up and catch it over there. The arm goes up, you catch it straight where it is. That's number one.
Yeah, there's a drill, which I'm sure you would have seen, rackets on the floor. That is not acceptable. The ball should not be landing back on a racket on the floor. It needs to land up in your hand. There's loads of reasons for it. We're not going to go into it now. Joe's told me I can't. It's far too long. Trust us, get that ball up above your head, get it back down into your ball toss hand, and you are going to be in business. But there's a caveat.
Yes, there
Something needs to be happening to the ball.
Yes. What we are looking for to build absolute consistency in your ball toss is that that ball is not spinning as it goes up. We want to lift that ball into the air and basically be able to see the logo on the ball the whole time. Ball doesn't go up and spin. If it's spinning, it probably means it's come off your fingers slightly wrong, or you've thrown it up with some sort of vigor. We want it lifted up so that the ball essentially just sits.
It's just very cool when it works, doesn't it?
It's just going to go Wilson Trinity, Wilson Trinity. There you go. So that's how you know if you're getting that ball toss consistent. You can do this at home if you like. You could do it on a court, you could do it at work. So you can kind of practice this wherever you've got enough space to lift the ball up to your serving height. Lift it up so that you can catch it back in the same hand without moving it, and make sure that ball is not spinning. If those things are happening, chances are your ball toss is banging. So there you go. Hopefully that has helped get a more consistent ball toss for you, because a consistent ball toss is going to lead to a more consistent serve. And who doesn't want that?
Nobody.
Exactly. More consistent, more powerful, more everything because of your consistent ball toss, allowing you to do all the things that you want to do with your serve.
Thank you very much for watching. As ever, if you've got any questions, hit us in the comments below, or if you've got some nice positive feedback, we love to hear it. Our fragile egos need as much positive reinforcement as possible.
As always, don't forget to like, follow, share, and definitely subscribe so you never miss a thing from PH Tennis. Steps.
Real men working.
Yeah. We're trying to influence over here.